Because Joe Rogan, we don't have to make videos to pretend anymore. All of this is happening. We're coming to you. I've challenged you man to man to a fight. Honorable. And we don't have to pretend or make any videos. The world is watching. They'll make the videos for us. And you don't have to hold a camera. You can hold the hand of somebody that you love, because what happens next to you, you're going to need to remember that feeling. You're going to need something more than what you did to give you something to fight for, because I have my family to fight for. And I'll die for them, you know that. And you're a black belt, but you've never come across something like this. Willing to die, hoping that you'll choke me out. I pray to God, because that's a dream come true. It feels good. And then the limbs, I'm fighting for my family. So limb. Go ahead. But then you have to contend with something else. And I weigh 177 pounds. An actual savage. And so at first you're like, fuck that guy. And right? When you all of a sudden he did get your attention, which I already did before this, you're saying, I'm gonna choke that motherfucker, that piece of fucking shit, I'm gonna choke him out. That's what warriors do. You and Andrew Tate are good warriors. But you're actually better than that. Real tension we have. Comedy that you do is good and true. We have real tension. But what I see in you is comedy is good and true. Touch points. Well, people laugh. If we don't make fun of them at their expense, they laugh. You should all make fun of me. You should all make fun of me at my expense. Trust me, that it still works, and then you should get paid for it. And let's go. Because we're leaving. We're going to Austin. What was my very last point?
That we're gonna kick Joe Rogan's ass.
The real G said it. It's my speech. Justin Fitz.
The man who swore raw liver could heal everything just marched out of a 5-star hotel in handcuffs. And Joe Rogan, the podcast giant who had never even met him, was the glowing bullseye of his fury. It began at dawn in Austin, Texas, when Brian Liver King Johnson opened Instagram Live from the marble shower of the Four Seasons. Shirtless, dripping barefoot on a fluffy bath mat, he'd somehow strapped 2 gold-plated pistols across his chest like movie props. "Rogan, I'm here. No cameras, no corner talk, just you and me," he roared, steam swirling around his beard. He vowed there'd be no training camp, no tapping, and definitely no soap. Soap is for the weak. While he paced, a cockroach skittered across the tile. Johnson paused to pet it, then dared Rogan to choke me out, black belt. Commenters blinked, unsure whether to laugh or dial 911. Many chose both. 2 hours later, police boots were stomping that same shower floor. Body cam video shows officers easing the muscle-bound influencer onto his knees while water still dripped from his hair. The arrest warrant used the phrase terroristic threat, a term usually reserved for bomb scares, not podcast drama. Within 12 hours, he was out on bond but tethered by an ankle monitor, forbidden to come within 200 yards of Rogan, Austin's comedy club, or even a microphone stand. A judge demanded he surrender every gun, undergo a psychiatric evaluation, and perhaps worst of all, stay off live video. Why gamble freedom for a podcaster who spends half his show talking elk steaks and UFOs? The answer loops back to December 2022, when Rogan chuckled during episode 1896 that Johnson's granite block abs looked about as natural as a neon sign.
Yeah. What? He wanted everybody that's depressed and trying to kill themselves to reach their highest, most dominant form. But he wanted to lie about how he achieved his physique. So mislead these people that just by eating liver, you can come close to that. So as you fail at that as well as everything else you failed at life that led you to the point of doing something to yourself that you're thinking about committing suicide. He was trying really hard to get on the podcast. And he's been trying really hard to get on now. He contacted a few friends of mine. And some of them that have, like Bert Kreischer, that had him on the show.
Yeah, he told me he's trying to get on.
Yeah, for what? For what? Say that more? Like, come on, this is dumb, man. This is you ran a con game and you got busted.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that you feel terrible. I'm sorry you feel bad, because that's just what happens when you get caught lying. But you didn't have to lie.
48 hours later, leaked emails revealed the Liver King spending $11 grand a month on synthetic hormones, more chemistry than a small pharmacy. Johnson's apology video, filmed shirtless and teary in his backyard. hit 10 million views but convinced almost no one. Sponsors fled, and a class action suit claimed he'd sold pricey supplements on a lie. That scandal might have cooled, but Netflix poured lighter fluid on the embers with its 2025 documentary, Untold: The Liver Lie. Former employees described plastic tubs of syringes hidden behind racks of grass-fed ribeye. One scene recreated an internal spreadsheet called Stack Costs, totaling more than most people's yearly salaries. Johnson's empire collapsed like a bad bench press. Email lists shrank, affiliate codes vanished, and search trends sank from spiking to flatline. Friends say the spiral accelerated when Johnson attended an ayahuasca retreat in Costa Rica this March. Psychedelic ceremonies promise clarity, but therapists warn the brew can crack the mind open if the foundation is shaky. 2 weeks later, Johnson was filmed pacing Beverly Hills, muttering, "I'm on stero," as traffic crawled by. TikTok reaction videos titled, "Watch the Liver King Admit It," again hit 1 million views before sunset. The clip looked less like confession and more like public unraveling. Psychologists call it attention addiction. The dopamine blast of going viral rewires the brain. When the likes fade, panic fills the void. Back in the late 80s, talk show host Morton Downey Jr. faked the hate crime attack when ratings dipped. Johnson's antagonist wasn't imaginary ink, it was Rogan's towering reputation. If the world felt like it was sneering, Johnson needed a single face to blame. Rogan, the black belt comic who never invited him on the podcast, became that face, and Johnson chased it right into a jail cell. Rogan's reply was near silence. On his show, he discussed kettlebells and ancient alien theories, then joked, "Somebody send me wild boar recipes." Fans understood the subtext. Not every shout deserves oxygen. The quieter Rogan stayed, the louder Johnson screamed, until the screaming crossed the legal line. Court documents put the next chapter on July 15. In Texas, a Class B misdemeanor can mean 6 months behind bars and a $2,000 fine, pocket change to a man once hawking $39 liver pills, but jail time erases brand deals fast. Prosecutors might offer probation, anger management classes, and a social media blackout. Judges know that for a clout-driven defendant, pulling the Wi-Fi plug is sometimes harsher than bars. Yet Johnson's persona feeds on bravado. Admitting fault might feel worse than a cell. Damage control isn't waiting. Barebones Protein froze its affiliate program. Ancestral Lifestyle Store slapped clothes for reformulation banners across half its catalog. Publicists whisper that only fringe podcasts will book him now, and even those want disclaimers in triplicate. The family Johnson says he's fighting for has gone silent. The Liver Queen deleted her Instagram. Their teenage sons set TikTok accounts to private after classmates spammed cockroach emojis under old videos. The same hive mind that praised Johnson's ancestral strength now edits him into parody dance filters. Still, pockets of loyal fans remain. They argue that if Rogan hadn't mocked him, the steroid emails might have stayed rumor, the Netflix doc unfunded, and Johnson's empire whole. Critics reply nobody made him inject growth hormone or wave pistols at a phone. Comment wars rage, the algorithm grins. Off camera, a tentative rebrand circles talent agencies. Johnson as cautionary, tail speaker, touring high schools to warn about steroid abuse and viral fame. Redemption arcs play well online. That is, if they're real. Authenticity means lower views and slower applause, something attention addicts find agonizing. Legal analysts note another twist. If Johnson violates bond by streaming threats again, charges can escalate to felony territory. In that case, ankle bracelets turn into iron bars. Mental health experts label the Meltdown textbook ego collapse. When identity equals audience size, any slump feels like death, and rage becomes the final shield. Rogan's slow burn career offers the counterexample. Decade-long grind, varied guests, curiosity over conflict. By saying nothing, he let Johnson's own momentum flip him, a verbal judo throw witnessed by millions. Silence, it turns out, can be louder than any rant. Imagine Johnson's first day if the court orders a digital detox. No push alerts, no follower count ticking upward, just a middle-aged man in a Texas kitchen wondering whether raw spleen tastes good without applause. Therapists say the first week feels like caffeine withdrawal times 10, But beyond that wall is actual peace, the kind you can't live stream. Every viewer plays a part. Each click, each share, each shocked emoji is a vote for what the internet serves next. Spectacle keeps eyeballs glued. Restraint, while healthier, is quieter. Fame's furnace is always hungry, and the next meltdown is already buffering. Remember the cockroach one last time. It survived steaming chaos, unbothered by threats, guns, or court dates. Nature doesn't care about algorithms. Maybe we shouldn't either. If redemption comes, it won't be live. It'll be quiet. Therapy sessions, honest meals, apologies that never trend. If it doesn't, the Liver King saga joins the long list of cautionary tales proving that when you monetize identity, you rent sanity to strangers. They pay in likes. The eviction notice comes without warning. Choose your rental terms wisely.